Welcome to our Dakota Family of Schools Town Hall event. I'm Christian Mischlick, Superintendent of the Louis Riel School Division. This is our third Family of Schools Town Hall. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that the Louis Riel School Division, LRSD, brings together a community of schools on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Niniwak, and Dakota peoples. Our division is located on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We also recognize that Manitoba is home to the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Dene peoples. We respect the treaties made on these lands and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and present. We dedicate ourselves to authentic alliances with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and cooperation. This is an important statement that we continue to refine with the guidance of our Indigenous Council of Grandmothers and Grandfathers. Over the next hour or so, you will be hearing from staff and students from the Dakota Family of Schools. And we'll get to see all the great things that have been happening in our schools. At the end, we will have time to answer your questions about our schools or division-wide pandemic planning. If you want to ask a question, please type it in the chat window. The chat is being moderated, so only published questions and thoughts will be visible to everyone. Again, at the end of the presentation, we will take time to answer some of your questions. This year has been so different from our typical way of being with each other. Parents and guardians haven't had the opportunity to visit schools and see for themselves all the joy that is happening in a safe and measured way. All students, staff, and families are being so resilient and inventive in finding the strength to navigate the pandemic, and we're here to celebrate that community effort. From collectively finding all kinds of ways to achieve 2 meters of physical distancing, to adapting to all the protocols and everything in between, we've been so impressed and we're grateful to all of you. I'm also grateful for the colleagues that are the colleague that is joining me this evening. I have in the room with me Assistant Superintendent Marlene Murray. I also have some folks in the room that I too often forget to acknowledge. I have Brandon Boone, Taylor Fenn, and Greg Kiesman that are instrumental in making this evening happen for all of us, and so I want to acknowledge them and all that they put into these town hall events. So Marlene leads the Student Services Department. Well, it's many departments, and she also liaises with several families of schools, and so she's the liaison to the Dakota Family of Schools. Marlene.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Marlene Murray, the Liaison Assistant Superintendent, of course, for this wonderful family of schools. And I just want to let you know that there's a real cluster of schools that make this family up. We've got HS Paul, Darwin, Lavallee, Hastings, Highbury, Victor Major, Victor HL Wyatt, and Dakota Collegiate. Now, as Christian pointed out, this year is truly unlike another. However, tonight you're going to get a sneak peek into the day of the life of our students, and you're going to see just how well they've adjusted to their new reality. You're going to see examples of resilience, adaptability, and a whole lot of joy. I want to extend my appreciation to staff for the work that they do each day, to the students who've come together to share their stories, and to the families that are joining us tonight.
Thanks, Marlene. Now, ordinarily, we'd have the chair of the board bring greetings, but we're having some trouble, technical problems. Louise is here with us. She's listening in, but she's not able to connect right now. So we're gonna work hard to make that happen. So Louise, the chair of the board, Louise Johnston, can bring some closing remarks. And so I'm now going to pass the mic on to Pahan. We have Pahan here this evening, and we're going to hear a few words of encouragement from a valued member of our Council of Grandmothers and Grandfathers. Welcome, Pahan.
Hello. Kushi Pakap Te Sami Mieye. This is me, Gray Swan Buffalo woman. And I was thinking a year ago at this time what we were doing. And I remember hearing about this idea of a pandemic. There was a possibility of a pandemic. And I had all work lined up for like 3 months. And all of a sudden in one day, everybody kept calling me and sending me emails and saying, it's canceled, it's canceled. And so I went home and I thought, 2 weeks, wow, I'll have 2 weeks with no work. I'm going to get so much done. I'm going to be so productive. And I'm going to enjoy my time at home because I love my time at home. Well, that was a year ago and I still am at home and I haven't left. And for Wambadi and I, our way of dealing with the pandemic is to we haven't followed the public health orders. We've been much more strict than that. So we've just stayed home. We haven't gone back to work. We don't go shopping. We don't go in the stores to buy our groceries. We do everything online and we pick it up, no contact. And we have really changed the way that we live our life. And I find it shocking that it's really been this long. Sometimes the days have run into each other and we don't know what day it is. Or was that yesterday or was that 3 days ago? It just kind of melded together. I had no idea that this experience would be anything like this, that I would be so eager, enthusiastic to be with people in a way that I never have been on before, because we just really aren't. And I know it's different for you. I know everyone has had their own experience of being in a pandemic. And for those of you who went back to work, you had your own challenges and fears around getting infected and getting sick and all those things. So each of us have had to deal with it in a different way. But I'm just telling you what it was like for us, And during the summer, I think it could kind of felt like maybe we could forget about it a little. For sometimes we could be outside, other people are outside, but boy, this winter we really knew it. And we had family members who have had COVID. That was really scary, including my mother, who's almost 90. And so we have had a real strong taste of what a pandemic is. And here we are. And this morning I was talking to Wambadi and we were talking about the equinox, which is coming up, the equal day, the equal night. And when that happens, it signals a time that the earth is going to change and we're going to have the beginning, a renewal, a new era. When now the days will get longer, it will get warmer, and I will have more energy and I will be able to be outside more and all those things that have been a struggle. So I look forward to the new season in a way that I haven't before. And just recently we were invited, Wambadi and I, to have our first vaccination. And I look forward to having the next one. And by the end of March, that I will be one of those people who could actually go into a store to buy something that I need. That I would have some increased freedom. And with that opening of the season, this beautiful sun warming up the earth and everything coming back to life again, that I can come back to life and that I can look forward to what Creator has in store for us coming up ahead. Have a wonderful town hall. Take care. Till next time.
Thank you, Pahan. Pahan, you've been so generous with your time in LRSD. We're so lucky to have you share your many gifts with us, and your messages are always so heartwarming and hopeful. So first up, let's hear from HS Ball School.
Oh, good evening. My name is Laura Mogad, and I am the Vice Principal at H.S. Paul School. Our school can be found in the far southeast corner of St. Vital between South Glen Boulevard and Ward Avenue, close to the Seine River and the Bois District. In 2014, H.S. Paul School opened its doors to the former George McDowell School students and became a school of approximately 400 students with 32 teachers and 11 educational assistants. Here are a few quick fun facts about H.S. Paul School. We are an English K-8 school named after Henry Southwood Paul, who was the mayor of St. Vital before the municipality amalgamated with Winnipeg. Our mascot is Pepper the Panther, and our school song is called Since '89. And yes, you guessed it, H.S. Paul opened its doors in 1989. The school song was written and recorded by our own students with guest artists in the schools, Don Amero. Despite the restrictions of the pandemic, we continue to learn with hope and joy. Please join me in viewing inside the walls of H.S. Paul School, because the learning never stops. Let's have a look.
So one of the things, I guess, the most impressive parts of this entire thing for me is that the capacity of teachers to work with the technology we have. Louis Riel has always been a school division that's always been on the edge, cutting edge of using different technology. And I just feel like we were so ready to move everybody to that. And so what that's done for us is we've had an incredible ability to kind of shift to this co-teaching and team teaching that we had before, but not to the degree that we do now.
COVID has required us to collaborate on a whole new level. With 50 students in this classroom, we have to be on the same page for absolutely everything we do all day.
We have to plan together, prep together, evaluate together, assess together. Everything we do is a we instead of a me. So even when we're looking at a lesson, we don't think about how can I deliver it best, but how can we deliver it best.
This year we have been very lucky to have a music class because of Mr. K during COVID-19. It is interesting because we get to learn how to play ukulele and use BandLab. We are using BandLab as a platform to understand, play, and make music. And it is exciting because we get to learn new things every day.
What is the biggest change we're learning during COVID compared to last year?
We've been doing teams a lot more since we're in 2 different classrooms.
There's less hands-on work, which I miss doing with my friends.
And we're not allowed to go wherever we want at recess anymore, but it's safer that way.
I think their learning has increased exponentially, doing the online through Teams, Microsoft. They've been emailing their assignments and less paperwork. They've been signing in and out with passwords. My son is very young, and just the way he can go through all that technology is absolutely amazing.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nicholas Kelly, and I'm proud to serve as the principal of Darwin School. We are a K-8 English elementary school located in St. Vital. We have a student population of 240. Before our students become Lancers for life, they start off their educational journey as Darwin Dolphins. This year, our staff have worked incredibly hard to transform and utilize all available physical space in the school to keep our 5 cohorts separate and safe. There are 40 staff that work at Darwin School, including our K-8 classroom teachers, our educational assistants, student services team, a phys ed and music specialist team, our divisional clinicians, our clerical and custodial staff, a library assistant, as well as our casual support workers. Every adult is a valued member of our staff team, and they work hard each and every day to ensure that our Darwin School students have a wonderful schooling experience. I'd like to thank all of the families in our school community for diligently following all the safety protocols that have been put in place. Although we've not been able to be together this year, we are going to come out of this pandemic stronger, and I look forward to being together in community soon. I'd like to also thank the LRSD senior leadership team, as well as the LRSD school board, who have kept student and staff safety at the forefront of their planning from the very beginning. For tonight's event, we've chosen to highlight that reading has not been canceled. Our school's love for literacy has flourished during these challenging times. We will share how our staff have kept students engaged in reading and leveraged available technology to ensure that all students have access to a rich and diverse collection of literature. I'd like to turn things over to our library assistant, Linda Patterson.
It's important to find a positive in a very negative situation, and I believe we have accomplished that at Darwin School. We have the opportunity to curate a smaller collection of quality books and introduce genres that perhaps a student has never read before, and by that expanding their reading identity. Before, students would gravitate to their usual books off the same shelves. Now they're forced to make a more cognitive decision on the books to select. This pandemic has shown me personally that you can't do everything the same way we have in the past, and maybe we shouldn't. When things go back to the norm, it'll be a very new, very different normal, and that's okay.
Finding a good book can be tough. There's so many choices on the shelves. In the past, we'd go to the library for the classes and we'd be able to look through books, but now things are a little bit different because of the pandemic. Darwin School now uses Destiny Discover. It is an online library search engine that we can use to search for books. If you're looking for a certain genre like fantasy, click on the topic. Once I find a book that I'm interested in, I can press the hold button and Mrs. Patterson, our library assistant, will be able to deliver the books right to our desks. Destiny Discover is an awesome website.
At the beginning of the school year, we were able to read books accessing the digital library at school and at home.
The library at Darwin is literally only steps away from the classroom. The students were not able to access the library, so our library assistant, Mrs. Linda Patterson, figured out a way to keep students connected using library through MS Teams.
Ms. Patterson sent a survey to each child asking about their favorite books, their interests and hobbies, to create an assortment of books for the students to choose from each week. We have weekly library classes with Ms. Patterson where she shares new books and reads us a picture book or a selection from a book. Then each student chooses a book from the class collection for the week by going up to the camera or the whiteboard to make their book selection.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shelly Hopper, and I'm the principal at Lavallee School. Lavallee is a K8 school with a population of approximately 160 students. We like to consider ourselves small but mighty and are continually striving to meet the needs of both students and families within our community. Designated as a community school, we have continued to offer community programming this year, including community bingos, cultural teachings, and cooking from home programs by harnessing virtual platforms to keep us connected. Although this year has brought with it some unique challenges, both our staff and our students have consistently demonstrated resiliency in navigating each new challenge that has arisen. While ensuring student and staff safety remains a top priority, we also continue to prioritize the development of literacy and numeracy skills for all students as part of the multi-year strategic plan. Despite restrictions, we also want to ensure that classrooms remain joyful, engaging spaces for students to learn. Creating learning environments that promote critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity are helping to ensure that students continue to learn and grow this school year. We would like to offer a glimpse into some of the ways that students and staff at Lavallee are engaging in hands-on, project-based learning within our classrooms.
Project-based learning is a better way to learn. It actually makes you think in different and unique ways. You get a chance to do research and problem solving. It isn't just about you because you have to think about who you are presenting to. If I get to do something myself with a project or experiment, I actually learn from it.
Not a box. This isn't a box, it's a dollhouse. I painted my dollhouse and I put pom-poms on it and I put feathers on it. The grass is right here. I painted the grass and the doors are right here. They can close and open. It's got some paper and I painted it on top. My favorite part of thinking and learning is playing.
Incorporating hands-on learning in our grade 3 classroom has not only been beneficial to our kinesthetic learners, but it has helped all the students be engaged and active participations in what they are learning. It helps them develop some hands-on learning skills, some problem-solving skills. They've learned that making mistakes is okay and we can learn from those mistakes. And then taking what we have learned and figuring out how can we improve.
Project-based learning in our classroom, we were seeing kids engaged. We've seen them obtain skills like time management. You know, some of the projects that we've done, students have had to think of something that they wanted to learn. So they're making connections, real world connections, and finding things out that they want to find out. Another skill that we're also seeing is that students are starting to learn what resources to use when researching. It's reaching all different types of learners.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Lewis, Principal of Hastings School. It is important to view what Hastings is about through the lens of Louis Riel School Division's multi-year strategic plan, which has articulated goals around the circle of courage. Hastings also focuses on these areas of generosity, independence, mastery, and belonging. In terms of belonging, Hastings School has a population of approximately 200 students. It has a strong connection to Indigenous families in the community. 25% of the students in the school self-identify as having Indigenous, Inuit, or Métis ancestry. We also have a strong newcomer population that accounts for approximately 30% of our population. The Hastings community as a whole embraces its rich diversity. When we consider generosity at Hastings, it's important to mention a number of programs that our school runs. We provide breakfast daily to over 50 students through grants written by staff. And this fall, Hastings School was delighted to receive an Indigo Love of Reading Foundation Community Grant. We are currently putting $5,000 worth of books into the hands of every student in our school. When looking at independence, our school is in the process of a significant change that will make our school so much more accessible to all of our community's needs. Louis Riel School Division is committed to improving school infrastructure throughout the division, which for Hastings School means the redevelopment of the main entry area to accommodate an elevator. This construction began in late June and is slated to continue until the spring. This project also includes a grooming room, making our building a space that will allow for all members of our community to feel welcome and move throughout with independence. And finally, mastery. The construction has inspired the idea to create a time capsule. The capsule will highlight the work students are doing now, but also promote the direct link to students 10+ years from now. We will be asking the community to contribute as well. The time capsule is a representation and culmination of a few projects that represent student mastery throughout this school year. Now let's take a quick look at life at Hastings School.
Hello everyone, my name is Ron Harder. I'm the Vice Principal at Hastings School, and we're standing here with hard hats on because Hastings is currently under construction. So I've got with me the foreman who's helping us out. His name is Gary, and he's going to take us on a real quick tour of the construction that we're going through here.
So right now we're standing in front of our elevator shaft. It's going to be a 5-stop hydraulic elevator system. This is going to be the future grooming room. It's part of the accessibility upgrade. As we go along over here, there's going to be a shower area. There'll be a toilet, a change table, a sink.
So belonging looks very different in kindergarten this year, so we need to really create opportunities to develop community. We were very lucky to be able to take advantage of our warm weather this winter, and we went to check out the snow bears, which are basically in our backyard. And the kids were thrilled to see them in person. We came back to school and learned about letter writing, and we wrote her letters of appreciation and thank you. She thanked us for our letters and she answered all of our questions. It was a wonderful opportunity to reach out within our community and be a part of something that's so fabulous during these difficult and challenging times.
Bonjour, Siama. Bonjour, Shirley. Here at Hastings in grade 4-5, we have been having a lot of fun learning French. Students listened to French, then they took the risk and began practicing speaking. We started with numbers 1 to 20 and now we're working up to 100. By learning our shapes and colors orally through super fun and engaging games, we created a small book with shapes. We try our best and persevere, which means we never give up, even when it's hard. We are building our mastery and it has been so much fun.
evening. I'm Karen Magnuson, principal of Highbury School, and on behalf of myself and my MIN partner, Reno Garrell, I'd like to welcome you to Highbury School. Highbury is a beautiful kindergarten to grade 8 English school located in the south end of the Louis Riel School Division in the community of River Park South. Each day, we are happy to welcome 400 students and 55 staff. As you can imagine, it is quite a different year. We redesigned our learning spaces and created cohorts of students at each grade level. Our students, staff, and school community have demonstrated tremendous strength, adaptability, and perseverance during these times. We are truly grateful and thankful for everyone's commitment to create a safe and healthy school. At Highbury, we are a family of caring children and adults who work together to build a community where students have a strong sense of belonging, supporting students' well-being and developing positive relationships with peers and adults. We work to achieve this goal by creating inclusive and engaging learning opportunities that promote personal wellness, focusing on student self-regulation, and strategies to support students' well-becoming. Mastery of learning is a goal we work to achieve by creating engaging learning opportunities that foster curiosity, creativity, and problem solving. Students at Highbury demonstrate their mastery of learning through numeracy, literacy, creative arts, music, physical literacy, and technology. Our success can be measured by how our students feel about their personal and social and educational experiences at Highbury. Our video tonight is a glimpse into the day in the life of our students at Highbury through our children's eyes.
Hi, I'm Lucy and I'm in grade 7. To me, the most fun part about school is to really socialize with my friends and to see them every day. But when we went into remote learning, I didn't get to see them every day. And school is very fun by itself, but friends just add that extra level of fun.
My name is Alex. I'm grade 3. Most of the time, I just do movement breaks. All the other kids, they learn mindfulness, breathing, all that stuff, weightlifting, push-ups, and the deep breathing. It helps me concentrate on the teacher and helps me just calm down from everything and concentrate on one thing.
Hi, my name is Marwa and I'm in grade 6. The fun part about Highbury here is that during social studies that we just don't learn, we have fun times. We get to build stuff in Minecraft. There's a whole world that's going on, and I really feel happy that we get to do this and all.
I'd like to begin by saying good evening. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Victor Major School, which we recognize and honor as being located in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Troy Reinhardt and I am in my 3rd year as the proud principal of Victor Major. Victor Major is a kindergarten to grade 8 school with a current enrollment of approximately 350 students. Our learning community is a beautiful mosaic of ethnic and linguistic diversity. Many of our learners and their families have origins in countries other than Canada. These countries quite literally span our globe. As a result, the majority of our students and their families have learned or are in the process of learning English as an additional language. While we embrace and celebrate the diversity of our learning community, we are also striving to ensure that we are working in a meaningful and targeted way towards creating a sense of belonging for our students and their families in our school community. As a community school, Victor Major provides an abundance of resources and outreach programs meant to create an equitable and inclusive culture and environment in our school and the surrounding community. At Victor Major, we take a research-based approach to providing the most effective literacy program possible to our learners. These literacy interventions aim to support our students in their own pursuit of mastery and independence as it relates to reading and communication. While the pandemic has made us rethink how we work to achieve the above goals with our learning community, we think you will see that our work continues to succeed in these very important areas. We refer to our learning cohorts as communities at Victor Major, and in the following video, you will see how we continue to promote a sense of belonging through our monthly Wear Your Victor Major Community Color Day. Secondly, you will see how we continue to work toward mastery and independence for all of our learners in our approaches to early literacy instructions. We hope you enjoy your look inside the walls of our amazing learning community.
My name's Charlene Eady. I'm the Vice Principal of Victor Major School. We've been working on mastery and independence by implementing Orton Gillingham and David Kilpatrick into our literacy programming. Let's go see what our staff and students are working on.
I'm super passionate about learning how to improve students' ability to read, because reading unlocks everything. Learning the Orton Gillingham approach really taught me that we have to teach sort of a systematic of rules with the English language. It's so complicated. And so once they know the rules, they can apply it in their writing and their reading and spelling. And then having some hands-on approaches really helps them learn through different means in their short-term memory in their brain. So having that tactile and visual and auditory, so the multi-sensory has really shown an engagement in kids to read.
Good evening. My name is Louis Riel. I am the principal of Victor H.L. Wyatt School. On behalf of my admin partner, Kim Melvin, and I, we would like to virtually welcome you to Wyatt. Wyatt is a K8 school situated on Meadowwood Drive, just south of Bishop Grandin Boulevard. Something unique about the location of our school is that all of our students live within walking distance. Each morning, our staff look forward to greeting and welcoming our students outside their designated cohort doors. It also provides a great opportunity to wave hello and connect with families who walk their children to school. We currently have just over 200 students attending in-person learning and nearly 40 students attending the divisional Learning from Home school. We have a school team comprised of 45 that includes teachers and support staff. Together, we represent the Wyatt Dragon community. There is a special sense of community that is present at Wyatt, which makes it an amazing place to be. Our wonderful students, dedicated staff, and supportive families contribute to the positive school culture. The strength and adaptability of our community has certainly been defined even further this year in the ways that we have worked together to diligently implement and follow safe work procedures and protocols that continue to support a safe and healthy school environment for everyone. We are excited to welcome you into our school tonight. Our video features examples of mastery and the culture of learning and well-becoming that is one of our important school plan priorities. Students from across our K-8 classrooms will share examples of their inspired learning. You will also see how belonging, independence, and generosity are naturally woven into how we work and learn together. We hope you enjoy our Wyatt Snapshot.
Come on in and see what inspires our learning at Victor Wyatt.
Come look
keeps our bodies, our brains, and our imaginations ready to learn.
At Victor Wyatt, we are creative problem solvers. We love to put our thinking caps on and figure stuff out. We problem solve in math, when we test our science creations, and when we do art.
At Victor Wyatt, we are geographers too. We love to explore about different places and kids all over the world. Did you know that in the Philippines they have schools made out of bottles?
At Victor Wyatt, we are literacy learners. We are readers, we are writers, and we are authors and illustrators too. We love to make and share our own stories.
At Victor Wyatt, we are learning leaders. In grade 7-8, we do morning announcements for the entire school.
We love sharing the school news and sharing our learning with each other.
We are music producers and athletes.
There's one more thing you need to know about Victor Wyatt learners before you go. We are the Dragons!
Hi everyone, I'm Jill Mathey and I'm principal of Dakota Collegiate, and joining me here tonight are Melanie Romas, Kathy Ann Winters, and Ray Jarvis, vice principals of Dakota. It has been wonderful hearing about all the incredible learning that is happening at our community schools. The focus on literacy, student voice, and project-based learning will continue to serve all the children well when they get to high school. With more than 1,200 students and 150 staff members, Dakota Collegiate offers an array of clubs, activities, courses, and sports. When it comes to academics, a student during their high school career will have the opportunity to select from more than 100 courses. If it's athletics you're interested in, we have more than 25 sports teams for you to choose from. For a student interested in the arts, we have more than 100 students every year who take part in our musical theater production held every year in December. And those same numbers have the opportunity in band to travel every 3 years to Japan to our sister school called Meiotoku to take part in an international band concert. It's a tradition that has continued here at Dakota for over 30 years. Dakota Collegiate is a rich school with a rich history and has a lot of things happening here. As a matter of fact, in this brief period of time for us to talk, we certainly cannot share all that we have to offer, but I'm hoping tomorrow night at our open house, some of you will join us. Whether offering advanced courses in math and science or hosting 300 seniors to take part in our annual seniors evening to kick off the holiday season, we believe that we have something for everyone here. One of the things that we're very proud of is that Dakota Collegiate in its athletics has won more provincial titles than any other school in the province. And now, to hear more about Dakota, we are joined by teachers Shauna McLeod and Abbas Butt, and students Ryan Rabb and Faiza Melek, who will now share what it's like to be a Lancer for life and how we innovate, learn, and continue to grow.
Here at Dakota, we work hard to take care of each other, whether it's welcoming students at the door with hand sanitizer, creating one-way hallways, or raising over $9,000 for 39 holiday hampers. We take care of each other and the community. Every year, we invite our community seniors into our building for a night of dainties and sing-alongs. While things look different this year, we continue to connect through the Love Grows project, sending over 300 postcards to seniors in our community.
Engaging our students and finding ways for all to achieve and belong in any area is reflective of how innovative and creative our staff can be. So with new additions like our fat bikes, our outdoor rink, and by leveraging technology, teachers have been able to put student learning at the forefront by adjusting their practice.
When asked what I love about Dakota Collegiate, it's hard to choose. Students can learn within their AP courses, volunteer with the Black and Gold Society, you can work in the bike shop or raise awareness with BIPOC, or you could showcase your talents in a Lancerpalooza event. Dakota Collegiate was actually the first school to use the Microsoft Teams live event feature to virtually connect all 1,200 students for a school-wide talent show of musicians, artists, activists, athletes, and dancers.
My favorite part about Dakota Collegiate is its diverse culture. Everybody gets to be who they want to be, and celebrating who we are has become a part of its fabric. Although right now we need to be 2 meters apart, we are stronger together.
Welcome back. So I hope you've enjoyed the look into our schools. You know, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we encountered, and hopefully Marlene and I were able to entertain you while we were fixing that. I don't know that we want to make a podcast of it, Marlene, but
no, well, maybe the next time.
And we're sorry about the link in our wanting to remind folks that there was a town hall event. I think we accidentally sent an incorrect link in trying to be of service, so we're sorry about that. But if you've joined us late, what's good about Teams, what's working about Teams, is you can rewind this thing and start from the beginning. And people are asking the question, well, you know, did I miss anything important at the very beginning? And in essence, it's all important, right? I'm just so grateful to staff and students for taking the time out of the busyness of their lives, and it's busy. We're navigating a pandemic after all, to capture what's going on, so that we can share it with the community we serve, so that parents can actually see what's going on, because it is so regrettable that we can't have folks in our schools in the way we need to be together as community. But as Pahan reminded us at the very beginning, I think we see a glimmer of hope. The vaccines are making their way to Canada and into the arms of Canadians, Manitobans soon, and we'll soon see our way out of this, and we'll be back together again, not having to create videos to have you see what's going on in schools. But we're leveraging technology to provide a glimpse into our world and hopefully reassure. Let's have a look at the questions. So one of the questions, several of the questions were all about the technical glitches, and so also a reminder that we'll have this on the website as well. We'll have this on the website and on social tomorrow, a recording as well to share with folks. And of course, like we have with the 3 previous town halls, we're leveraging all of this amazing content that kids and staff have created, have put together to share it out over many days and weeks and months, and get our story out to folks. So let's have a look at a question. So I have a question here. With new, more transferable variants of COVID-19 on the horizon, what is being done to make sure children continue to stay COVID-free? So that's a very good question. We must not let our guard down. So although I suggested just a moment ago that hope is also on the horizon in the form of vaccines, and the vaccines appear to be effective on the variant strains, we haven't yet vaccinated enough of us be safe and to let down our guard. So we mustn't let down our guard. We must remain vigilant. And it's again, I just want to say how amazed I am by everyone's vigilance, how amazingly resilient the kids are, staff is, parents, in always screening for symptoms, not coming to school when not feeling well. It starts there. But because we know some can be carrying a virus and asymptomatic, either the symptoms haven't quite showed up yet, or the symptoms aren't strong symptoms. We've got to be careful when we're together, wearing masks, or like I'm doing this evening with Marlene, keeping more than 2 meters. We're being careful here. We're more than 2 meters away from each other. And so that's the key in this office as well. When we're close together in proximity, we're wearing our masks. When we're leaving a given zone, we're always wearing our mask. And so that continued vigilance is what is essential, what is key. And we're doing an amazing job. And so we're being transparent as well. So you can check our website. Connected to, you can find it in different ways, but we have a page that we keep up to date. Anytime we learn of someone testing positive for the virus, we publicize that. We update the page at 4:30 every day, and but not on weekends. And so we're also being transparent about the presence of the virus in our schools. And the province more recently is doing the same as well. They've got a page, and it's linked to a geographic map as well. Let's have a look. Another question.
We have an offline question that came
Thank you, Brandon.
Some folks are wondering what phys ed has looked like during the polar vortex.
Well, I've seen some people outside despite the serious cold, but of course we have a policy and we have protocols around not being outside when the wind chill is worrisome. And so it's always been about when it's not safe to be outside because of the cold, we find our way inside, and it's about learning activities that can be done in spaces inside that again are in keeping with all the protocols. And so I see a lot of activity that may not appear physical, like meditation and different forms of stretching and relaxation, like yoga. And actually, I think if anything, here again, the pandemic has had us really diversify our understandings of healthy living and what is required of us for a balanced, healthy living lifestyle. And so to be active and healthy isn't only about aerobic exercise and strengthening exercise, but actually also about meditation and stretching and relaxation as well. Does that work?
That does. We have another question from one of the attendees asking, what's happening for graduation in 2021?
We just talked about this morning. I talked about that this morning. We brought together the high school principals to talk, and we're going to put out a message soon collectively about how we have to start planning for June, and in all likelihood, it's not going to look much different from June 2020. So we learned a great deal about celebrating in small numbers over many days a graduation, and we're going to do the same this coming June. Unless, of course, something dramatic happens between now and June, but because that's really unlikely, and we really have to start planning now for these very important celebrations, just a few months away. it's going to look like it did in June 2020, and we're going to make it even better than it was in June 2020 because we're doing it a second time.
We have another question. This one might be for Marlene. Someone is wondering how kindergarten open houses and registration is being handled this year.
Very good question. Thanks for asking. Next week, our French immersion and English program schools are hosting online Teams meetings, very similar to what you're experiencing here this evening. So you can look at our website to find out how to get yourself an invitation to attend an open house. And then you're going to learn all the wonderful things about kindergarten programming in Louis Riel School Division. You are going to see some really wonderful video that we have put together that are inside wonderful glimpses of kindergarten classrooms and learning from very, very recently within our schools. So you're going to get a really wonderful opportunity to understand kindergarten in a way that I think is the best so far, I'm going to say, in my years in the Louis Riel School Division. And our kindergarten registration process kicks off on March the 1st. The other thing that the pandemic has given us as a really wonderful gift is shifting our paper packages for kindergarten registration to an online process. So we are actually just uploading all the various print materials to make available for parents as they register online to download the documents at home. But if that's not something that works for you, you're going to be able to pick up print packages through your school as well. So action-packed 2 weeks coming up for our youngest LRSD learners joining us in the fall.
We have another question from one of our viewers who's asking if there will be a presentation like this for the Learning from Home School.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. We should consider the Learning from Home School as part of that. So we've still got 4 town halls to go. So we'll make sure, that's a great idea. We'll make sure that the Learning from Home School is a part of that.
We have, it's 7:59, so 1 minute left. Do you want to take one more question?
One more question. Like I'm reading one here. Does the division have, for my happy LRSD parent, does the division have a plan if students need to attend school this fall and we are still in a pandemic situation? So we are definitely planning for, so our planning right now, we're of course working on a draft budget, and you're all invited to join us next Tuesday to learn all about that draft budget. But in essence, we're planning 2 draft budgets. We're planning a draft budget if September looks like June, if we're still dealing with the pandemic, and in essence, we're still in orange or yellow and not in green. We have those 3 colored responses to the pandemic. And when we're in red, well, it looks like it did last spring, where everyone's learning from home. And so we're envisioning, and we're planning for that eventuality that September looks like June, and June looks like it does today. But we're hopeful that even if that's the case, at some point over the course of the 21-22 school year, things will go back, or things will, I don't like to say go back, things will be, it will be about a future that is a post-pandemic future. And why do I not like the word go back? Well, because we've done so much learning and growing over the last several months that I hope that out of this pandemic is a post-pandemic future that is all about a better world, a better future. And our little part of the world, our little part of the future is about making public education even better than it was pre-pandemic. And so that's what I'm excited for at some point in 21-22. And I've taken up all the oxygen. I didn't let any of the principals chime in. I'm sorry about that.
In closing, maybe Dakota open house.
Yeah, so let's not forget that tomorrow evening, Dakota Collegiate has its open house. And so we don't want to forget about that. So I hope you've enjoyed our time together tonight. We're going to be following a similar format, like I've said, for the four families, the four remaining families, and we won't forget to add the Learning from Home School and our technical vocational school as well, ATC, to the mix. So keep an eye out for those special opportunities. And I want to thank all of you again this evening for joining us. Sorry about the technical difficulties, the miscommunications. But this coming together for us is just so important. We value everyone's perspective. So stay safe, be well, and also don't forget to provide us some feedback in the exit survey you see in the chat. Bye-bye.
Take care. Good night, folks.